Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Connor's house, aka Catboy's house from the show PJ Masks. If you enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, and if you do like it enough to make it, or even if you've liked it enough to click on this video, please share it with a friend. I'd really appreciate that. And look out for all of the other PJ Masks content that I'm going to be putting out on the channel in due time. But without any further ado, let's get started. So before we begin, I can tell you that to make Connor's house, we only require a 20 block area by a 22 block area. 20 blocks coming across the front and 22 blocks going towards the back. We also only need all of these materials that you can see in my inventory right now. Please pause the video if you have to. Make sure that you have every single one of these. Once you do, we may begin. So make sure that you've got all of your stuff and make sure that you have a place to make it. And once you've figured all of that out, if you haven't made this grid in your world, you're going to want to begin on the front left hand corner of the grid. Not necessary, but recommended. And if you have built this grid, you want to count inwards from the corner by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That way, we're both building in the same space. And from this block, you want to start off with 6 white concrete coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then, from this 6th block, place 4 white concrete blocks up and right diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 4 white concrete blocks down and right diagonally. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I then want you to go down from this 4th block by 2, 1, 2, and then right by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Connect that 11th block down to the ground, and also extend that 11th block backwards, and you want to extend it backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go up on top of it by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you want to take this 3rd block and go up, back, diagonally by 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. Go right by 2. 1, 2, and then do 3 bottom right diagonals. That's 1, 2, 3, and connect down to the ground. I want you to fill in this entire section here with white concrete. There's no detail on the right side of the house, hence why we're just going to build a nice solid wall using white concrete. If you feel as though that I've missed any sort of detail, please add it in yourselves, as I can't spend my time watching an entire series of a cartoon. I can only manage to make what I research, and that's what I try to do to the best of my knowledge. So that's what the right side of the house wants to look like. Now, once you have done that, we want to make our way to the back bottom of the house, and we want to take this bottom white concrete block that hit the ground, and we want to extend it all the way across to the right side of the build. The entire point of doing this is so that the block here lines up with the block at the front of the build. If it helps you, you can even extend the front of the house backwards to help join into a corner. The only important part is that it does connect together like this. And you see, once you have joined it together in a corner like this, I want you to extend the corner block upwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And place 4 up left diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 bottom left diagonal blocks. 1, 2, 3. Connect that third block left. It should connect perfectly to the right hand side of the house. I then want you to fill in this particular part of the house using white concrete. Once more, if you know of more detail on the back of the house, I want you to add it for yourself. In my research, I have only managed to find the detail which I will be adding to the house myself. So, as I say, if you find that something's missing, please add it in. So, that is so far the back of the house. We want to do a similar thing on the left side of the house. This wants to be completely filled in using white concrete, as high as the walls are on the front and back of the house. Just raise them up until they connect in a straight line. You guys all know what I'm talking about once you do reach this point right here. Now that we have built some of these walls, we are going to add some additional details. Okay, let's first work on the front of the house. You guys may remember earlier when we placed 2 blocks below this diagonal block and we extended it to the right. Now we want to take this block that we extended to the right and we also want to connect it down to the ground like this. The right side here wants to be completely filled in using black concrete. The black concrete wants to sit 1 row inwards from the empty space. This is Connor's garage. We also want to add detail to this part of the house. We want to take the same block, this one, that we extended down to the ground, and also to the right of, and we want to take this block and we want to place 2 glass pane left of it. 1 and 2. And then place a white concrete. And then extend the white concrete block and the glass down to the ground. I also want you to place on top of the white concrete an additional white concrete and extend that to the left until you connect to the wall and then downwards like this. I then want you to take this block in particular. This is the first block that we extended left. We went up and left. On top of this block, place 2 glass. 1 and 2. And fill in the upper part of this house using white concrete blocks. So all around the window, we want to fill in using white concrete blocks like this. What I then want to do is I want to take this empty space that I have here and I want to connect it together at the bottom using stone brick slabs. Then I'm going to add another row of stone brick slabs behind that row and raise it up using a row of stone brick slabs. Place blue concrete behind the slabs. And then I want you to place a door on the middle concrete, like this. Place blue concrete surrounding the door. This goes all the way around it like this, as you would expect a doorway to be. I then want you to place white concrete around the inside of the whole thing that we've just made. You see, otherwise we will have had gaps. And we don't want that, so we have just filled in around the door like that using white concrete. Now that is a decent amount of detail. So what I want you to do next is this. I want you to come to the right side-ish of the build. You might remember where we placed 3 white concrete blocks coming upwards earlier. I want you to take the bottom 2 concrete blocks and I want you to place 4 glass left of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And glass on top, so 4 blocks going left with glass on top. I then want you to place white concrete left of the glass. And I want you to extend the white concrete to the right and I want you to extend it forwards to connect back to the front of the build. You might be able to see what I've kind of got at here, like this. Now, once you have done that, we are going to add another row of white concrete on top of the glass and the back part of the white concrete section. Not this left side, that left side is different. This side, however, is where it wants to be added. You can even add a row of white concrete underneath the window and underneath the entire white concrete section if you like. However, up on top of it is a completely different story. We are lacking a material, unless we use this, because it really doesn't matter too much what material we use. We're going to use stone brick slabs to fill in the top of the garage area. This is actually a little bit better because it adds a little bit of contrast here, actually. I was originally going to use quartz slabs, which you might want to stick to, but I think that stone brick slabs actually work a little bit better in that they are a contrasting material rather than the white on white, a bit of grey on white. Nothing wrong with that. So that's what we want to have so far. Now, here is where the trickier part comes in. We have to build a roof. And the roof isn't exactly so simple, but we'll work on it, okay? Grab the blue concrete, come to the front of the build, and begin by placing blue concrete starting from the left side of the front of the house, and build a row of blue concrete that comes all the way up to the top of the house and down the opposite way until it sits on the side of the house on the right like that. I then want you to extend the blue concrete forwards by one row. The roof always wants to overhang the sides of the house, whether it be the front, back, left or right, by one row. And they want to be joined together, the blue concretes, in the corners to form a much nicer looking roof. And this roof wants to be extended backwards towards the back of the house. We might as well actually just extend the entire back part of the roof to the back of the house. If you like, you can kind of skip ahead a little bit by just placing a row of blue concrete on the outer back triangle, but equally so, it will work if you just extend back the original roof. And you're not going to be able to extend all of the roof. You will find that the back part of the roof is a little bit tricky. You won't be able to extend it all back, and I'll show you why in a second, but extend back what you can until you kind of run out of places to extend it back. Okay, so what that means is, like, as you are coming down the right hand side, you'll start to see that, like, once you hit this point, there's really nothing to extend it back to, you know? So, like, you'll extend this and you'll hit that wall, and you'll extend this block and you'll hit that wall. So there is a natural stopping point. We also want to extend all of the blue concrete blocks on the back of the build outwards by one, and they want to be joined together at the corners, just as all of the other components of the roof. Now here's the thing, we now want to come to the right side of the house, and we want to place blue concrete on top of the sides of the right side of the house like this. And we want to extend the blue concrete in front of the house as well. So like on the left and right, it wants to be in front of the house. And of course the blue concrete, of course, wants to overhang the house as well by one row. And it wants to be joined together in the corners, as you would expect the roof to do. And then all you have to do is take this side of the roof and extend it to the right. It will connect very naturally, even here, to the middle part of the roof. It will connect very, very naturally. There really isn't much more to say about this. Simply extend it where you see necessary. Make sure that it all joins together very nicely. Don't leave any awkward gaps or blocks left unchecked. And once you have done that, you will end up with a very nice, satisfying, and colourful roof. like this. You can see how it does connect together very naturally. Everywhere we go, we can see that the roof overhangs, it is all joined together very nicely, and nothing looks out of place, if I say so myself. The only other thing that I would suggest to do with this house is that Connor has a large front drive, of which I imagine he pulls cars out of his garage because there is a huge garage, and it requires a big drive, I suppose. So I am going to fill the remainder of the grid in using light grey concrete. This is to simulate a driveway for the garage. Now you can see where I'm going to be filling in, so I'm going to cut away for a second. I'm going to dig out all of the grass, the numbers, and all of that stuff, and I'm going to be back once that is done. But for all intents and purposes, ladies and gentlemen, the tutorial is over. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what Connor's house, aka Catboy's house, should look like once it's been 100% fully completed. You can see that we have filled in the drive and replaced it with light grey concrete, and all of the guidance lines for the tutorial have been removed as well. If you have enjoyed the tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really does help me out. And if you have enjoyed the video enough to make it, or even make it this far in the video, well done. I'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with a friend. Maybe they'd like to make it as well. Maybe they like PJ Masks just as much as you do and you just didn't know. And if you would like to keep up to date with the channel, subscribe, click the little bell, make sure that that is clicked, otherwise you probably won't get my videos sent directly to your sub box. And of course, on top of all those things, if you would like to check out any more of my builds, you might be able to see the PJ Masks headquarters building over there. Amongst other things, you know, we've got a load of crazy builds in this part of the world. Check out the card system, description below. That's all I'm going to tell you. I want to leave a little bit of mystery here. Oh, if you like The Incredibles as well, Incredibles 2 just came out recently. That's over there, the building, the actual family home. I love that house. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate every single one of you so much. Much love to all of you. I'll check you out in the next one. Goodbye!